How many of you remember a time when you kept photographs in a shoebox under your bed? You had commemorative items or collectibles like baseball cards in a lockbox or a safe place in the bedroom, and your money was either in your wallet or at the bank next door. Over time, everything became digital, and with that came a lot of convenience. I mean, it's nice. Being able to pull up pictures from a family trip you took 3 years ago, having access to your entire music catalog in the car, or just paying for coffee by just tapping your phone. But with that, we sort of lost something, didn't we? How do we know the items that we store in the cloud are secure, are protected? Do we own those items? How do we know that we own them? This is something I found out the hard way in 2014 when Mt. Gox collapsed and I lost everything. But this problem has affected everybody in different ways. Who hasn't been part of a data breach before? I mean, what was it, Experian? They leaked everybody's social security number at some point? I mean, there's no avoiding it. And this is the fundamental problem that Web3 was created to solve. But Web3 had a big problem. It was not consumer ready. Normal people don't know how to use blockchain applications. They're very technical and confusing and difficult to understand. Meet Will. Will is one of tens of thousands of engineers building for the blockchain right now. He has a great payments app called Yatori. It works just like Apple Pay, except instead of plugging in your credit card, it's all crypto native. But it has this one big issue. How many of you have seen this screen before, or a variation of it? This is the first screen that you see when you open any blockchain application. It's a big tree of confusing third-party app options that they expect you to already know about, already have installed, and already know how to use. And then you get all these confusing setup screens. And then they expect you to go buy a token, $100 minimum, and you have to know what token it is. And it's just a big old confusing process. They ask for your home address and all sorts of different stuff. Wow, this is way better than Google, huh? And that's where Altude comes in. We provide a quick, seamless experience that any app can plug into. It's easy for the business to integrate, and they can pay at the end of the month with their credit card. And so that means it makes Will's app just like Apple Pay. But even more importantly, for Will, if he wanted to build this type of experience with one of our competitors, you can see what he'd have to deal with our leading competitor, Privy, on the left side. They were bought by Stripe in June for $1.3 billion. He would need a combination of different third-party services and subscriptions, in addition to having to engineer all of that stuff on the bottom. Just for what? Just to do a simple ownership operation? That's why we provide all of that, everything you need in a box. The market for Web3 infrastructure is pretty big already. It's $3.2 billion. But the number I want you to focus on is $1 trillion. That's the amount that the network fees across all blockchains is expected to reach by 2030. And ultimately, what we see happening is that $3.2 billion is going to get absorbed into that $1 trillion number. Because eventually, everybody's going to want consumer-ready experiences, and they're going to need third-party infrastructure in order to run them. Additionally, Andreessen Horowitz published a report that predicts that the market for agentic payments, meaning AI that pays other AI, will be $40 trillion by 2035. And that's important because we're well positioned in this market as well. Initially, we're focusing on the Solana blockchain. Solana is the fastest growing blockchain ecosystem with the fastest growing developer ecosystem on blockchain. Over 7,600 new developers over the past year. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this part. Bringing developer tools to market is difficult. So we've studied what the most successful companies in the developer tool space have done that works, and we've come up with a three-pronged approach. First, we're going to engage new apps through community engagement efforts, hosting hackathons, and distributing developer incentives. Secondly, we're going to engage apps like Will's app, Yatori, through a robust sales process. And finally, we're going to seek out platforms where our technology can help them unlock additional revenue, and we're going to target them. We price it at a flat 10%, so that's 10% of that network fee, that $1 trillion number that I mentioned. And so it can be very cheap, and over time, we're going to give them opportunities to do stuff that's more sophisticated. And what that looks like is we recently introduced a new feature that's expected to double our monthly revenue. This is what our customers are saying about it already. This is a screenshot from a customer's app. We didn't ask them to put that into the app. They just appreciate what we're doing, and they see it and understand it, and they want to tell other people about it. And this is a little bit about me and my background. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I've been working in tech for 17 years. I started out doing stuff on the blockchain that was really user-focused. I was one of the first engineers to start building on the Solana blockchain. And I started doing stuff like play-to-earn apps where you'd play Fortnite and get rewarded in cryptocurrency, tip bots for Telegram, Discord, and Twitter. But I started to see that this wasn't something that normal people were able to adopt just yet. So I got really interested in solving problems related to that. But I also understand that I can't do it all alone. I'm going to need a good team around me in order to execute on that go-to-market strategy. So I'm seeking an additional technical leader, a design lead, and a sales lead. And until then, our advisors are going to be key. Many of you know Chris and Michael. We had some great mentors through the program. I appreciate everything they've done for us. And this third person you may not be familiar with, that's my good friend Eric Peterson. He's one of the top in the world when it comes to blockchain legislation. There's no doubt that you can build great experiences with our competitors' products. But none of them seem to care about ownership, and that's a big issue. Additionally, they tend to think that this problem is a simple user experience problem that can be solved by slapping on a login with Facebook button. Whereas we can clearly see that it's not a simple user experience problem. It's a developer fragmentation problem. One tool is all you need. This began when I took open source technology and I decided to host it for other people. And I found that there was already a community of apps that really had a need and an interest in what we were doing. We had over 400,000 transactions over the first 3 months. We went back, had many conversations, and ultimately that was distilled into what became our second MVP, which was released a month ago in closed alpha. We just got our first paying customer, and we're in the process of integrating the next two. And so we're seeking to raise funding so that we can execute a high volume on that go-to-market strategy. We're seeking to raise $200,000 for that additional technical lead, the sales lead, and the design lead, and also building software development kits for new platforms so that we can unlock new sets of customers right away. For iOS, for Flutter, and for Unity so that we can build games as well. What questions do you have?
What's the profile of your first client? What do they do?
So it's, the question is, who is our first customer?
Not who, what do they do? I don't need an
So he's a hobby developer. His name is Greg. He found us last year through a friend of a friend, word of mouth. And that was when we were very early on, but he could see right away what we were doing and he understood it. And it helped him because he was a new developer that was learning. And so it made it a lot easier for him to actually build the type of things that he wanted to build. And now he's getting to the point where he has these communities of meme coin creators on the internet that are really interested in his product, and they're using it for a platform for what they're doing. Greg's a great story I love to talk about. He vibe coded a lot of the second half of his app, but he had it going before he even knew what AI was. So, next question.
So it sounds like high level, you're saving them a ton of time and they're making more money.
Yes.
Okay.
And when it comes to engineering, like the number that I got from various recruiters in the space, but also from Anatoly Yakovenko, who's the creator of Solana. He was one of the first people I ever pitched this to. And he said that it costs $250,000 at a minimum to hire a Solana engineer. And so that's a very consistent number. I've heard that again and again and again. So that could take them up to a year to build all of that. So it's a significant cost savings for each of these small apps that are implementing it. So, yes, sir? So what is the network effect of it? What I find is, because it's still fairly early, people are finding this and they're realizing that it's opening up a whole new world of customers to them. And so they want to offer that to other people. And so it's actually not really that complicated when it comes to what our customers see and what that network effect looks like, because they're just wanting to show other people this cool thing that they made. That's pretty much it. Any other questions? Yes. Yes, it's already built. We're going to continue building on it. There's pieces of it that we're still improving on and that we haven't fully implemented, but the meat and potatoes of it is already there, and the customers are already using it. So,
what is your pricing model?
It's that, if I go back, it's that 10% model. So each blockchain operation has a network cost. And that cost on Solana is cheaper than it is on other blockchains, but every operation that you do on the blockchain has a cost. Right now, the customer pays that cost, the end user. And so what we're doing is we're giving the businesses the opportunity to pay that cost for their users, just like Facebook has to pay to keep their servers on to service their customers. Did that answer your question all right?
How does that fit to you? How does your company make money?
Right, so we get 10% on top of that cost of the network cost. And so revenue-wise, what that looks like from that 400,000 transactions we had in the first 3 months is a few $100,000 in transaction volume in revenue, so we get 10% of that. Any other questions? All right, thank you.